Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. This one is going to be a little bit special because it's a subject that's really dear to my heart. And I think one of the most plaguing issues today in the e-commerce industry, which is the relationship that e-commerce founders have with their respective service providers, right? So what I want to do today is really highlight the key difference and the key fundamental differences that exist between an agency, which is the heart of the problem, and growth partners, which is kind of the next evolution in terms of service providers for e-commerce founders. Now, the question I'd like to start with is, when was the last time that you got burned by an agency? Was it this year, last month, maybe even last week? Maybe you're currently in contract with an agency that is burning you every single day. Now, the question is, what happened? Perhaps they overpromised and underdelivered. That happens all the time. We all receive the 20x ROAS next Tuesday emails. Maybe they didn't have any accountability. They had kind of a lack of control on all aspects of your marketing. So they were in charge of a small sliver of your business, and they were kind of promising you the growth of your entire business, which is in and of itself doesn't make really much sense. Or it might be possible that the incentives weren't correctly aligned. Bottom line is 99% of the time, agencies won't work and won't solve your issues. Now, it might not be for the reason you're thinking of. Now, let's roll back a little bit in the past. E-commerce agencies actually used to work, right? But they used to work when the landscape was in its infancy and the world really hadn't caught up to what e-commerce is, digital marketing is, etc., etc. It was a time where we all enjoyed 100% accurate tracking, low CPM, so low ad costs, and little to no competition, right? Now, we can say that things have changed by quite a significant margin. Today, your ads will cost you more than ever. Tracking is a pure mess. I don't care what tool you're using. ROAS is an obsolete metric, and single channel marketing is dead. Now, this is exactly why most agencies suffer and end up burning their clients. It's because they don't understand the landscape that they're operating in, right? They're still tracking ROAS. They're still trying to make sense of the tracking of the platforms that they manage, and this is exactly what they suffer. Now, I believe for the most part that their intentions are pure and they're trying to help. It's just that their offering is weak for the environment that we're currently evolving in. Now, agencies who promote a single channel approach, and this is an advice that I give you as an e-commerce founder, is a huge red flag for you. You should understand that true long-term growth for your brand will not come from one single channel. Now, here's what an agency will offer you. First of all, they'll sign you on a 3-month agreement. The question I'd like to ask is, why not 2? Why not 4? Why not 5? Why not 6, right? The answer is they've been told so by the gurus that they follow. Now, the other question that I'd like to ask you is, what long-lasting growth can be achieved and sustained in under 90 days? These agencies are so short-term minded and short-term focused that they're not even thinking about the long-term growth of your business. They're just trying to boost the metric ROAS, which will kind of guarantee that they keep you as a client. And obviously, that's why they view you as an MRR booster instead of a partner. Now, the next thing is a good agency will onboard you in 1 day and they'll start gathering insights on your brand. Now, that's the best case scenario. Obviously, some of them will onboard you in 2 to 3 weeks, which in and of itself should be a huge red flag for you. What happens next is pretty classic. It's a strategy call where you guys go through, surface level strategy, but that surface level strategy is only on the platform that these guys manage or only on the service that they provide, right? These guys aren't holistic. They don't look at the big picture. It's really just about what they control, which makes sense, but it's just not cut for the current landscape that we're living in. Next, what happens is they will write your copy for your ads if they're managing your ads, or the copy for the emails, for example. More often than not, it's a very generic and bland. And you can kind of see where things are leading, especially with the next step, which is to leverage cheap labor to set up your ads in under 20 minutes. Now, the business model is genius. You're leveraging cheap labor to set up ads in just a few minutes, and you're pocketing the retainer, right? It's genius, right? And then you're basically paying the person that manages the ads a tiny percentage of what they're getting. It's a very, very profitable business model, right? But as an e-commerce founder, you need to know what goes on behind the scenes. You're giving your brand to these people, right? You need to know who manages your ads. Now, the next step is quite funny. It's what we call the testing phase, right? Or how I like to call it, which is the we don't know what we're doing phase. And if you're lucky, it'll be a few weeks before you start seeing some traction. Now, the next thing is they'll update you on the past week performance. However, it's not giving you the full scope and the full picture of your business. And finally, the main problem is that you need to hire multiple service providers to cover the multiple facets of your marketing, right? I'm not even talking about your business, just talking about your marketing. It has multiple facets and multiple aspects to it, right? So you need to hire a service provider that can tackle every single one of those aspects, right? One ads agency, for example, one email/retention agency, one content agency. And so now I know this because I've been behind the scenes and I've seen it firsthand. And just like you, I really hate agencies. Nothing personal, but it's just the way that they operate is against what Growth Labs stands for. Even when Growth Labs was an agency, because we used to do Facebook ads for e-commerce brands, we would only sign clients for 6 months minimum. We understood that time was a hugely important variable in the equation of growth, right? Now, I understand that's a big commitment for you founders, but that's the only way to start off a well-oiled partnership. It's by having a long-term lens and not being short-term focused and obviously tracking a metric that's dead by now, which is ROAS, right? And so because you're hiring someone for 90 days, what I'd like to ask you, as I said in the beginning, is what significant growth can be built and sustained in that time frame? The answer is not much, and that's why you guys get frustrated after 90 days, end up terminating the agreements, and losing thousands of dollars every single time. So just to go back to what we were doing, we would only sign clients for 6 months, and even though we were only paid to do Facebook ads, We would also offer CRO consultation. We would do unlimited advertising channels if they wanted to run ads, for example, elsewhere. We would also offer, retention marketing consultations, etc., etc. Now, very early on, even when Facebook was the goldmine, the ATM machine, all know it was, we understood that omni-channel diversification was the key. After a lot of team introspection, and it actually took a lot of process engineering, and obviously a thorough compilation of all the insights that we had gathered through our experience, I decided that it was time to fully transition to being a growth partner instead of an agency. And now you might be thinking, hey, cool, you changed your name, big deal. Well, not really. See, a growth partner is more than just a service provider. We're basically fractional CMOs, okay? And this is exactly what a growth partner does for you. A growth partner will only work with high quality and high potential brands that are invested in their business, because it doesn't work if we're the only ones committed, and it doesn't work if the product is not good, okay? A growth partner will only work on 6 months minimum. Our average retention at Growth Labs, for example, is closer to 10 to 11 months. And that's exactly how we're able to deliver life-changing transformations for our clients, because we're all biased towards long-term thinking, right? A growth partner will only care about one metric, your revenue. We don't care about ROAS, we don't care about CPC, CPMs, we only care about revenue. Obviously, we take a look at the metrics across the whole funnel. However, the only metric that we're looking at to gauge the success of our initiatives is revenue. A growth partner preaches omni-channel dominance and long-lasting growth, not vanity advertising metrics. And having a growth partner is like having the best marketing department you can dream of, right? And having that exact marketing department plug itself into your business and alleviate all the weight off of your shoulders while delivering stellar results, right? There's no cheap labor leverage on the growth partners team. It's only a team of high performers trained to deliver and execute every single day. That is extremely, extremely important. And that's why a growth partner team is able to deliver at such a high level. It's because inside that team are only high performers, right? And a growth partner is part of your business. You have access to them 24/7, not just on Mondays. That's really, really important. Now, all of this sounds great, right? But you can basically go hire people for acquisition, people for retention, content creators, etc., and basically create your own kind of high leverage in-house marketing department. Well, good luck finding A players that will be willing to commit to your brand and your brand only and earn nothing less than $100,000 per year plus performance. Now, to be honest, guys, it's like hiring multiple agencies. It just doesn't make sense economically for most brands. I know a few 8-figure brands can pull it off and that have that kind of brand equity to attract high-level talent. However, most brands, it doesn't make sense economically, and they're just not that attractive for that high-level talent. So here are the options. You can spend the next 4 months hiring for positions that you don't understand. And obviously, most e-commerce founders don't know what to look for in a great media buyer and a great retention marketer, etc., etc. What's going to happen next is you're going to have to trial a bunch of candidates, costing you cash, time, and energy. You're going to also have to figure out, if you end up finding all of those candidates by a miracle, you're going to have to figure out how to build synergy, to have the proper systems in the back end to make it work. And obviously, keeping the team motivated once you have them in place, once you have the correct systems in place, is extremely, extremely, extremely important, right? The other option is to say, hey, I'm not ready to hire. Let me go on a shopping spree and interview dozens of agencies. I'm going to select the best ones. I'm going to get $3,500 to $5,000 plus performance quotes for each one of them, obviously, and that's if they're good. Obviously, you can find cheaper, but that's a risk in and of itself. You tally up all of these quotes and you realize you're going to be paying $20,000 just in retainers and then performance. And then obviously you end up scratching your head and trying to figure out how it's going to make sense for you economically. And we're not even talking about ad spend, right? So it really doesn't make any sense economically. Now, the last option is to partner up with a growth partner. What you're going to be able to do is skip the headaches, grow your business, because now you're not growing ROAS, you're growing revenue, make a bigger impact with your business. You're going to be able to focus on the long term while everyone is executing for you on the short term, making sure that your business grows every single day. You're going to make a lot more money. You're going to pay a lot less than $20,000 per month in retainers. You're going to be happy and fulfilled. And hopefully you're going to be driving a $200,000 car, thinking how crazy you were, thinking that agencies still work. Now, what I'd like to say is this. To start your own business back in the days, you had to think the opposite way of how 99% of people think, right? So how come that once we're in the 1%, we're not replicating that thought process and we just end up thinking like the 99% of the 1%, right? What we need to do and what you need to do as an e-commerce founder is you need to stop thinking like 99% of e-commerce founders. So what I'd like to say is this. If you're up for it and you're finally ready to take your business to 100K per month, 200K per month, even 500K per month and beyond, let's see if you're a good fit for the Project Growth system. Here's what we've been able to achieve. While 99% of brands were dealing with the negative impacts of iOS 14, struggling with single channel performance, single channel marketing, struggling with all of these agencies promising them a 20x ROAS, here are the numbers that we've been able to generate. A 2,000% increase in revenue. Here, we were able to scale this brand from $10,000 per month to $52,000 per month in just under 3 months. This one here, we increased the revenue by 334%. That's the monthly revenue. This brand here scaled their revenue by 80% in just under 30 days. So you see that when you focus on the correct fundamentals, when you make sure that you're leveraging the correct frameworks and the correct principles to grow your business, things just end up clicking. So guys, hope you extracted value from this video and gained some clarity as to why growth partners are 1,000 times more efficient and results driven than agencies. If your business is ready for the next evolution, let's get on the walkthrough session. That's a challenge that I'm giving you today. Let's get on the walkthrough session. I'll show you the exact process from start to finish. And if it makes sense for you, let's get to work. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.